Channel 5 was back, thanks to Richard Desmond, a man who owned a British Asian pornographic magazine and way too many celebrity gossip magazines. The new Channel 5 logo had the number 5 returned to being inside a circle, albeit with the circle filled in. The font of choice for the 5 was Arial Black, which isn't particularly the best font, but at least they didn't go with Comic Sans. The idents were set in a large soundstage, with the Channel 5 logo projected onto a large screen that screams 1984 to me, for some reason. They were filmed, strangely enough, in Prague, in the Czech Republic, one of the largest film studios in Europe, and Channel 5 were using it to make some idents. That's some idents, not loads. They really did film these in a studio, with days and days of work being put into them. Such idents like the one with the drummer making the screen come alive in the literal sense of being in 3D, which is outrageous for all the right reasons. She'd better be happy because this ident would be one of the most used out of the entire batch. Probably after the equalizer ident, which would be repeated to death until the death of the entire planet. Other less used idents include the VIP ident, which symbolised the Desmondization of the channel as a whole, and probably the channel's biggest acquisition as a whole, but more on that in a moment. There was also an ident featuring a kid playing with some toys, the action of which would be repeated on the screen behind him, but in a retro video game style that kicks the 2002 logo into the bin. Plus, they filmed an actual car chase scene in some sort of home-based warehouse, which I can't particularly complain about, for I do wonder what this will introduce. Probably something to do with a certain American TV crime drama series. In fact, the chase was so intense that a camera used to film it was broken during it. At least the lens was. Let's not stretch an insignificant story to the point where it can't be taken seriously. The chase itself wasn't too bad, although some obstacles would have been appreciated. So what, that's 4 idents that were filmed in the studio, and 1 ident that is clearly computer generated. Now, granted, I'm aware they probably had a limited budget to make these on, but only 5 idents on launch? There were more idents when the channel launched in 1997 than these, same with the 2002 idents, as bad as they were, and the 2008 idents. This probably showcased how the channel, at least in my opinion, looked much cheaper and more pandering to a certain audience. That audience being either menopausal women, manly men who like to be men, or blonde-haired, big-lipped young teenage girls who liked that show with the surveillance camera and that unseen brother guy. Channel 5, for whatever reason, decided to acquire the rights to the popular reality show Big Brother from their superior competitors one door down, the Ballbusters at Channel 4. Although they didn't make the show look good by having the eye logo look more generic, by having the show presented by Brian Dowling, who won both Big Brother 2002 in 2001 and Ultimate Big Brother in 2010. The Channel 5 era of Big Brother will always be known to me as the era when it became just another relentless reality show that was butchered all because of the fact that it aired on bloody Channel 5 out of all the channels to air the show. They never managed to get 7 years out of the show before they canned it again in 2018, never to be seen again. Until ITV2 came along and scooped it up in 2002, much to the horror of anyone who had any brain cells, as ITV2 are, and still are, the architects of Love Island, a horrendous piece of shit that actually even worse than Big Brother in terms of the appearance of both the show and the contestants. This does not excuse Big Brother for bringing Andrew Tate into the media spotlight, however. Screw Richard Desmond for turning Channel 5 into an even more bastardized version of its former self. Anyway, returning to the idents, the usage of one of Europe's largest film studios was rather subdued because of future idents. They didn't use it. Instead, they used a computer-generated version of the inside of the studio, so they didn't have to do things for real. Either that's lazy or ingenious. I'm aiming towards neither, as it's neither lazy nor ingenious. When the channel did rebrand in 2011, its programme budget was around £135 million, the smallest programme budget of the 5 public service broadcasters. However, Desmond said he did want to increase the programme budget. Granted, I don't know if that included designing the rebrand, but whatever. Still, in terms of idents, I've seen worse. If anything, Channel 5 benefited from them as they made loads and loads and loads of other program-specific idents for shows like The Walking Dead, The Hotel Inspector, The Bachelor, The Mentalist, and of course Big Brother, who arguably got the snazziest idents out of the 2011 lot. This Big Brother ident tradition would continue until the next rebrand 5 years later. There was even special Big Brother presentation, menus, and ECPs too, as if saying Big Brother is back wasn't enough for the anti-lobotomized twats who watched the saddest reboot in the history of mankind, excluding Love Island, which can burn in the same hell as Saddam Hussein, King Il-sung, and anyone who read News of the World and enjoyed it. They even endorsed channel sponsorships, which is like when a program is sponsored but the whole channel instead is, with the first being Nokia's latest creation, the Lumia, which ran on the disgusting software known as Windows Phone. 2011 became 2012, the year in which Celebrity Big Brother began nearly 4 months after the original Celebrity series ended and 2 months after the original series ended. The world was also due to end, the Olympics were going to be held in London, and Barack Obama became the 44th President of the United States. It was also the year in which Channel 5 made more idents, like one crime shows, or one for the Gadget Show, and another for the fantasy drama Once Upon a Time, and one for some show called Big Brother. I'm not sure if you've heard of it or not. Of course you bloody have. I've spent long enough rambling about it. The rest of the year's idents are just the same act of some bloke from the show making an appearance on the ident screen before they bugger off in favour of the Channel 5 logo existing in their place. Apart from one of the wild things, where Dominic Monaghan tries to find the big screen in the forest, which is strange because I thought he was stuck in Middle-earth as some merry hobbit or something. Slowly entering 2013, we see some explosive ident for Neighbours, an Australian soap opera that Channel 5 snatched from BBC One back in 2008. There's another Big Brother ident with the Celebrity series and the Muggles version. There's even one for weekend mornings with Power Rangers and Batman the Brave and the Bold to boost. Oh, and some slug show set in the ground, but that's neither here nor there when you've got Batman around. Somehow. For 2014, more Big Brother idents with the eye turning into some Victorian shit or something, because celebrities are somehow more like Time Lords than Time Lords themselves. Oh, and some technological bollocks for the ordinaries. You know it's getting strange when a lottery game sponsors your bloody channel. And then there's Gotham, the series Gotham, that shows bits of Gotham and then a Gotham Channel 5 logo in Gotham colours. Need I say more? Nearly done now, I just need to plough on through into 2015. By this point, Desmond had sold the channel to the evil mass media giants at Viacom. The last thing we need is a big collaboration with MTV, which is exactly what happened. However, just because Desmond had buggered off didn't mean we were safe from Big Brother idents. Did you miss them? Nah, me neither. Unfortunately for us, they went ham on the Big Brother bullshit for 2015 and early 2016, as only 3 sequences were not Big Brother related. These consisted of a Neighbours anniversary ident, one for that bloody MTV collab called 10,000 BC, and one promoting the new Mission Impossible film, which made sense as Viacom owned Paramount Pictures, who distributed the bloody thing. So it wasn't a sponsorship, more like propaganda for people to watch it because executives love money and ignorance. As for those Big Brother idents, the Celebrity Big Brother ident, or more accurately, the Lords of all the beasts of the earth and fishes of the sea and conqueror of the human race one, was set in a dreadful-looking forest that rivals the one seen in Into the Woods. The original Big Brother ident saw the arrival of a time bomb, no, not the sci-fi drama, which looked about as complex as the dynamics between the people and each other when placed into a Big Brother house. Basically not that complex when you consider that half of Big Brother is just petty drama that occurs when this shit happens. And there was another one for Celebrity Big Brother promoting the United Kingdom versus the United States, which would have worked better if the Americans weren't going after each other for the majority of the series. Granted, British Big Brother doesn't have stupid dramatic music in the background when drama pops off, unlike the American Big Brother, though the drama is the best part of Big Brother, in my opinion. Crap, I forgot we were talking about Channel 5. And speaking of Channel 5, we entered the 2016 era. Basically, the concurrent logo was not to last for long in this year, as it changed in February. But before that, there's another Big Brother ident. Yes, the last channel that Channel 5 made under the Desmond logo was fittingly, or rather unfittingly, a Big Brother ident, promoting the Celebrity January series. The rebrand of which I'm talking about would happen 6 days after the series ended. This rebrand effectively ended any sort of era that indicated that Desmond indeed had control over the channel for nearly 4 years. The only thing that remained, probably, was that bastard eye and its relentless security on thick people. That's not a compliment, more like saying Big Brother was the only good show on Channel 5. Strictly speaking, it was, but in a bad way, like a guilty pleasure. Still, the rebrand should even things out, right Viacom?